And now, folks, for your comfort and especially the comfort of our guests on the top table, we're going to do speeches first. At least we're going to do one speech now. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask for your attention, please? Turn your chairs around and face the top table if you wish, as it's my great pleasure now to invite a very proud man to propose that first toast to our bride and groom. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and warmly welcome Mr. Chris Upton. Thank you.
Right. Follow that if you can. This was going to be a very short speech along the lines of, thank you all for being here to share Rachel and James's special day. The bride looks radiant and beautiful, and the groom scrubs up quite well as well. Followed by a quick toast, and then I could sit down and have a few drinks. Of course, I was told that this was not acceptable. So here is the approved version. So, well, to start, I must honestly say, I better put my glasses on as well.
Yeah, oh, well done.
Yeah. Yay. It's in focus now. Right. Well, to start, I must honestly say that Rachel does make a stunning bride. Obviously, the genes are from her mother. And I think everyone can see how happy she looks to be newly married to James. They make a perfect couple. I would really like to thank everybody here today, and I know Rachel and James are thrilled to be able to share their day with so many family and friends. Some of you have travelled 10 miles, some 4,500, and one lady has gone proper long haul and travelled 10,500 miles. However, I think the ABCD award goes to the person who has travelled from New York, and then tomorrow she leaves about 6 o'clock to catch a flight to Tanzania. She either values friendships or likes going to weddings, or she just wanted a break from her family. A bit of me time is very much appreciated on these occasions. When I first saw the guest list, I thought it looked like a United Nations conference. The expression "from the four corners of the world" came to mind. But why do we say that? The world is round. Well, strictly speaking, spherical. And has been since a long time ago. I always thought it was from 1492 and Christopher Columbus and all that. But my research assistant here told me that the Greeks knew this, knew that it was around in about the 3rd century BC. So, but moving on. It's a testament to Rachel and James that so many friends and family are here today. School friends, friends from university and college, people who have shared houses and flats with them, and of course many friends who they have met while working abroad in the UAE and Japan. I think the expression "once met, never forgotten" could be used about Rachel and James, but it is their loyalty, kindness, and generosity which underlies the strength of their family ties and their friendships. They're always ready to open up their home, and on occasion, Gareth's and Emma's, and make people welcome. And of course, you are all very welcome here to help them celebrate. Rachel and James have taken quite a lot of time and patience to organise this occasion. Some decisions have involved quite a bit of discussion, shall we say, but I'm delighted that everything has turned out so well so far. Rachel thought the colour of the carpet clashed with her colour scheme, but sadly Shrigley weren't prepared to renew the carpet for the day. Shrigley did, however, after a bit of prompting, repainting the toilets for her. Well, they do say marriage involves compromises, so she'd better get used to it. Does this keep on stretching? Yes. Okay.
Might be better hitting
So-
on the head.
Okay. Rachel. So what can I say about our beloved Rachel? How long have we got? We could be here for a while. I could tell you how she used to, well, I could tell you what her favourite cat food was as a toddler. But I won't. I could tell you when she failed to recognise her own brother in a Lancaster nightclub. But I won't. Apparently it was quite dark. Is that right? And she got a taxi home in a police car.
On the same night.
I could tell you how Rachel Mean Time is very different from Greenwich Mean Time. But I won't. The original list was a lot longer in the first draft. But if you ask me about 11 o'clock tonight, I'll be happy to disclose them to you all. Just mention rugby, mascots, what else is there? The difference between Budapest and Londonderry. Yeah? Derry, sorry. What I can tell you is that she was born in the first hour of the day, on the first day of the year, in the same year as the internet began. The first American woman, any guesses? Went into space. Sally Ride? Okay. The British £1 coin was introduced. And the first African-American woman, Alice Walker, won a Pulitzer Prize for The Colour Purple. So, not only are you attending a wedding today, you're getting a free history lesson as well. Yeah. Quite a historic year in many ways, but of course, to Jean and I, Rachel's arrival was the most momentous event. Soon after the New Year fireworks ended, what a start to a new year, eh? Rachel was the most placid, smiley baby. She hasn't lost her smile. Not yet, anyway. Who slept through the night very early and lulled us into a false sense of calm. Before developing into a whirlwind of a toddler, always exploring, climbing, and generally getting into mischief. As she grew up, she always enjoyed life and had lots of friends, but worked hard and became head girl at her high school, ably supported by Claire, head chief bridesmaid today. I thought that was quite an achievement, as I never made it to prefect. Oh, you're supposed to go hard at this point. Can we try that again? She was head girl and I wasn't even a prefect. Right. Rachel's sense of adventure led her to be the first of the family to have a gap year, although she did it after university, just to be different. The list of countries she visited during that time and in later trips escapes me, but she never lacked the confidence to set off to faraway destinations, sometimes alone. Before marriage, I got as far west as the Isle of Man and as far east as Great Yarmouth. After teaching in Manchester for several years, Rachel took a leap of faith and decided to take a teaching job in the UAE. This was only for 2 or 3 years, so that she could save enough money for a deposit on a house. 7 years later, and not much savings, she came back. But she did have experiences. I got as far as Birmingham in pursuit of my career, then decided I didn't quite like the accent, so I headed back to sunny Manchester. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm very proud to call Rachel my daughter. She has followed her own path, taken a few leaps of faith along the way, and after a few bumps in the road, she has finally found her happy place and looking forward to sharing her life with James at her side. At this point, Jean and I would also like to say a big thank you to you all, to all of James's family who have welcomed Rachel into their homes on both sides of the pond with open arms and made her feel that she's already part of the Webster Gardiner clan. Now I must say a few words about the groom. Jean and I are very happy that you are now officially part of our family. Welcome. I just hope you understand what you're getting yourself into.
Eyes wide open.
Though I must say, you have proved to be very resilient in the years that we have known you. For example, he has withstood being interrogated by me when Rachel brought him home to meet us. He survived my kamikaze driving on my first and last experience of a Japanese motorway. Sadly, the car didn't survive, but the 4 of us did, as well as the pillows, all on the anniversary of the Hiroshima bombing. He now plays badminton regularly with me and a group of friends and my son Gareth. And he has come very close to having his head knocked off his shoulders. And that is even when he's on my side. In spite of all that, he is here today. None the worse for it. I have to say that he is a much better man than I am, and he has managed to teach Rachel a few things that I failed miserably. E.g., he has taught her the meaning of saving and budgeting. Both of which were alien concepts to her in the past. And when I tried to impart some wisdom on these subjects, her usual response was, "Dad, nobody does that these days. That's what credit cards are for. And it only costs me £15 a month." He has also managed to convince her that an overdraft facility is not part of her salary, but a debt which needs to be paid. So for these things, James, I salute you. Well done, mate. Miracles do happen. The only negative thing I can say about James is that being originally from the south, his choice of football team is a bit suspect.
Below the belt.
However, I have a photo, photos, which suggests that the conversion process has already started. So it won't be long before he becomes an honorary Manc. Following the right team in the right colour. In fact, I've got a little present for you, James.
Okay. Wonderful. Do I open this now? I have no idea what this is. No? Very well sellotaped. Yeah.
You want a pin?
This better be blue, Chris.
Nope.
Mancunian. I'll take it. Thank you very much, sir. I'll get that on
So
immediately.
these are the photos.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I didn't have enough printed ink for 122 copies of each one. So you can share these between you. One is him in a football shirt. And
Should have stayed on the stack.
you know he likes loud shirts. So we've got one in a Manchester B shirt. Now, for those who are not from Manchester, the original emblem for Manchester was a bee, which was to do with the Industrial Revolution and busy bees and all that sort of stuff. So, another history lesson for you. So, you can spread those, you can pass those around. Pass those over there.
Thank you.
So, now you've got your present. Wear it with pride, but never forget your roots. As your two sisters will testify, there is life north of the Watford Gap.
Definitely.
James, I do have some words of advice. You will have to embrace these golden rules of marriage. Marriage is a relationship where one person is always right, and the other is the husband. Happy wife means happy life. Accept it and move on. So, nearly finished. I'd like to thank you for your patience and kind intention, and to those of you who have managed to stay awake. Well done. So, honoured guests, please join me in a toast to the bride and groom. Bride and groom. All right? Okay?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nice big round of applause. Yes, thank you. Now, folks, be comfortable. Turn your chairs around. Face the top table. It's my great pleasure now, ladies and gentlemen, to break with tradition. I'm going to call upon the bride. Put your hands together and warmly welcome Rachel. Thank you.
I promise this is going to be a lot shorter than any of my voice notes, which, for any of you know me well, that's a blessing. Okay, I wrote this morning, so I apologise. It was very last minute because all of you last night were saying, "Are you doing a speech? Of course you're doing a speech." I was like, "No." So now I am. Okay, so James is going to thank everyone involved in this spectacular event properly, but I would like to thank you all for coming. We are blessed and honoured that so many people have made such a huge effort. I would like to thank my maid of honour and all my bridesmaids for organising 2 incredible hen do's and making me feel so special. Woo! Okay. And to everyone who came and everyone in the run-up to these celebrations who's just been fantastic. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to our parents. We're so lucky to have you as examples of loving, kind and loyal role models. Woo! Also, a huge thank you to everyone who's helped and contributed towards this epic day. When James and I were talking about getting married, I explained the cost and the organisation involved and how I didn't want to do that all on my own. I tend to be the planner. As you will know if you know me, every weekend's planned extensively. James said he would do the planning and that we would have a budget and it would all be great. So James has planned 80% of this wedding, possibly 85%. And that's no exaggeration, actually. I hold my head in shame. Anyway, so a huge thank you. I'm so happy that I took a risk and touched your knee in 2018. Let's knee touch. And I feel so blessed that we have each other and that throughout the last 7 years you have shown me such patience, love and care. So to my husband, who kept his word, I love you so much. Okay. To James.
Okay, see, not that long.
Thank you, Rachel. Come on, one more time for the bride. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if these are the proudest people in the house, it gives me great pleasure now to call upon the happiest man in the house. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, a big warm welcome for James. Thank you, James.
You should see this room from here. It's quite something. Thanks for that, babes. How do I follow that? My wife. Surprising me, even today. Just on the note of thanking our parents, we would like to just present a couple of gifts to these wonderful people who have raised us and nurtured us and bring us here today. So here we are. Could you give that over to Jean? Thank you. And that is for yourself, Mummy. Some flowers for you. Good.
Sorry, they're slightly different. That's your dad's.
Yeah.
That's my dad's.
Okay, there we go. And also for these wonderful gentlemen.
Oh.
My wife just said that. We are only the people we are here because of them as well. So thank you both for your examples of marriage and love and support with absolutely everything that you've given us for all these years. So thank you very much. And they can probably be removed so you can get them later. Yeah. I'd also like to extend a welcome to all of you and thank you again. A bit of a theme throughout the day, but so many of you have joined Rachel and I for this incredibly special occasion. Incredible efforts to get here as well. And we're so honoured and blessed to welcome dear family and dear friends from all over the world. Just a shout out to a few places, and forgive me if I haven't called out where you're from, but places of note. People have come all the way here from Japan, Australia, the UAE, Florida, Texas, Oregon, Schenectady, New York. Did I get that right? Yeah. Sweden, Denmark, Scotland, London, Bristol, Cornwall and the South. the Midlands, you know who you are, Ireland, North Wales, Sheffield, Leeds, Liverpool, and now I'm wearing my badge, Manchester and the surrounds. We'd also very fondly like to remember some dearly missed and beloved aunties who are no longer with us, and dear friends as well. There is a small tribute to people outside over there. But without dear Auntie Lynn and Auntie Rods, we really wouldn't be able to have done... Are they calling in? Yeah? Hello? Do you approve? They are very sorely missed, and they really bequeathed us with some money and things, and we couldn't have done this without them, and many other contributions from a lot of people. So thank you all very much indeed. Yes, you've all made us into the people that we are, and we're so lucky to have each and every one of you in our lives. To the bridesmaids, thank you for being Rachel's Magnificent Seven. You all look stunning, and you danced a lot better than my groomsmen, so well done. To all the groomsmen, you fine gentlemen, you scrub up pretty well. Well done, gents. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all. And a very special, further extended thanks goes to my niece, Charlotte Chamberlain. Over there, waving at you all, centre of attention if she wants, yeah? 5 years or so ago, Charlotte Chamberlain sat me down and said, I've got the master plan, Uncle James. This is what you need to do. And as she saw it, this involved Uncle James getting a better job to earn good enough money to be able to afford a very expensive but beautiful ring in order to propose to the beautiful Rachel Upton so that she could join the family and we could all have a great big fairy tale wonderful wedding. Well, Chiefs, did we do it? I think we did. I also need to thank, of course, my very beautiful wife, Rachel Upton, who, as many of you in this room know, has such a huge heart. She's so consistently and constantly full of kindness and empathy, as witnessed here today by a large number of her extensive friendship and now wider family groups. I absolutely adore this about Rachel, her love of friendship and the way she gathers people up. And we both hope how much you all mean to us, and thank you for being here, okay? Rachel has also supported and loved me, taken bold risks. She referenced the knee touch. That then led to moving to Japan, putting her whole life and career on hold. And yeah, we've had a number of challenges already, and we're just in this together, babes. Team RJ, okay? Good. It's been a long-running joke, for those of you that know me, that I'm clearly punching well above my weight class in this relationship. But I've done my best to bring a little bit of wit, a few bad dad jokes, and a lot of loud shirts to the proceedings. Chris actually alluded to a bit of football in his speech earlier, so I've got a quick analogy for you as well. Some of you that know me well have said this a couple of times. Having previously played a lot of lower league and park-based football, clearly, being with this woman right now, I've just won the Champions League. So. Allow me, if you will, a few more words about my incredible wife. When we first started dating, we already knew each other extremely well. Our friendship has been the strong basis for all that has happened since. I didn't quite know, however, till we were living together and getting to know each other even more, how wonderfully hilarious this woman actually is. I could share, if you know me, I have lots of photos, but any number of them of Rachel as we've travelled in cars, buses, trains, aeroplanes, tuk-tuks, all over the world, sleeping soundly, as long as I know where we're going, So long as she also has a trusty eye mask, absolutely anywhere in the world, this woman can sleep. So well done, good. Also, a lot of the brilliant off-the-cuff remarks she comes out with, so much so that when we first started dating, under the guise of a sort of pseudonym, if you will, of my Manc Mrs., I started writing down a few of the phrases that cropped up that she said, and now I actually have a Manc Mrs. So some of these golden gems are how she learnt to pronounce the word gyoza properly in Japan by walking down the street saying, yoga, gyoza, yoga, gyoza, as we biked and ran around Japan. And using phrases like, it's like Blackpool Luminations in here, whilst leaving all the lights on in the house. Or when we discuss our differing political viewpoints, coming out with the phrase, I'm hardly a communist, I absolutely love a brunch. She's just the best, and I love you immensely. So, to my love, my beautiful wife, you are my favourite. When I say you are my favourite, I don't just mean my favourite person. You're my favourite thought, you're my favourite memory, my favourite feelings. You're my favourite person to tell anything to. You're my favourite reason to laugh. You're my favourite reason to live. You have my favourite smile to look at, my favourite voice to hear. Yours is my favourite heart, my favourite soul. You're my favourite person, Rachel Upton, and you're also my favourite everything. Okay. And now we're officially husband and wife. I cannot wait to see what adventures our future together holds. Okay. Thank you. Okay, and finally, before I hand the microphone over to one of the most genuinely kind people I've ever met, the best man, Owen Smith, I'd just like to say that whilst he has long been an excellent, loyal and trustworthy friend, he is also a man who I have never heard say a bad word about anyone else. I'm really hoping this continues today, Oza. So if I could ask you all to raise a glass and toast to our favourite people and to our married future together with all of your ongoing friendship, love and support. Hear, hear. Love you too.
Well done.
So, ladies and gentlemen, finally it's my pleasure to call upon best man, Owen. Thank you, Owen.
Wow, hello everyone. That was pretty emotional, James. Love it. Wow, what a day. Stunning bride, beautiful bridesmaids, amazing venue. What a celebration. People here today from all over the world. Sorry, Rachel, whatever you say, I think we know it's you. We know if there's one person driving this, it's your kid self. James, nice try. I first met James at the beginning of university in the coastal gem that is Swansea in Wales. We found a shared interest in music, rare herbs, and a strong work ethic. It's fair. Back then, he was a mere slip of a boy, growing up on the mean streets of Surrey. Known for his love of football. I think he was a Blackburn fan back then. But to be honest, it's very difficult to tell with James. He's been somewhat of a lifelong fan of several teams. In fact, on the stag do, he proudly wore a different shirt from a different team every day. Finishing up with his new favourite, Man United. He told me as a child he went to a strangely small and fiercely religious school. We're talking 50 kids in total, from primary all the way through to GCSEs. Though small, it was known for its high marks and successful graduates, 2 of whom were on the stag party, the only 2 who managed to miss their flights home. Well, from these small beginnings, it was clear that James was keen to get out and about and enjoy life. After university, James began something of a life on the road. He's by far the most well-travelled person I've ever met, apart from several people in this room by all accounts. You name it, he's been there. From safaris in the Serengeti, to gorillas in Rwanda, to vineyards in Argentina. In fact, he's been to every continent, bar the North and South Pole. Honeymoon? Who knows? His travelling ways began in Japan, where some of you good people are from today, and somewhat fortuitously ended there as well. The first destination where James started out on his path as an educator, sharing his mother tongue with anyone who was willing to pay. He started out working for a company where people would walk in off the street and pay to have a conversation in English with James. Seems like a bad deal to me, and the company has since gone bust. But he'd clearly found his calling. It's actually impressive, his ability to communicate with almost anyone, almost anywhere, but most of the time in a pub. Something I found out for myself whilst visiting him there, a life-changing tip for me. James, always a man who has a way with words, schemed to set me up with one of his fellow drinking buddies. He described me to her as really kind, but he looks a bit like Shrek. Rude. Amazingly, it worked, and that drinking buddy is now my wife of 16 years. Cheers, James. I owe you for that one. He also introduced me to the joys of Japanese culture. Sushi, sake, costume karaoke, usually in that order. He took me to my first onsen. For those of you who don't know, onsen are Japanese public baths, where you queue naked with a bunch of strangers, literally balls to butt, before enjoying a communal soak. Venturing out of your comfort zone, which in some ways sums up James. Wherever he is, in whatever language, he connects with people. Next stop, and clearly the most important, was his move to the Middle East, as we've been hearing, the UAE, where he spent the best part of a decade. A chunk of his life that I sadly never got to witness in the flesh. In fact, I'm pretty sure that lack of first-hand evidence is the only reason I'm the person speaking here today. Luckily, some of the other desert dwellers have been talking, and to be honest, they had a lot to say. We don't have the time, but I'll share a few highlights. I think it's fair to say they all lived something of quite a life out there in the sandy lands. I hear of endless bottomless brunches, feasting on platters of lobster, caviar and prime steak, whilst knocking back elaborate cocktails by the bucketful. All hosted atop gleaming skyscrapers in the desert sun, with servants on hand to mop their sweaty brows as they moved on for Cuban cigars and vintage whiskey by the pool. I'm good at this, eh? He lived in a place called Fujairah, as we've heard, one of the smaller emirates based around an oil port, where he somehow ended up in charge of the English programme for both the army and the local law enforcement. James could often be found sharing a shisha pipe with the captain of the guard and the chief of police. A man with connections. I'm picturing James as some sort of Lawrence of Arabia figure, but with less facial hair. A trick of nature, James is hairless from the neck down. AKA the Sandy Baby. Mr. James, driving his 4x4 through the desert, doing donuts in a dish dash. A man baby based in a Hilton hotel, sizzling in the desert sun, like some sort of gangster. Roasting, boiling, baking, like a sexy beast. Well, from all this high living, James grew into a rugby player. From centre forward to prop forward. All the rich food and fine wines also led to something he has become infamous for amongst his friends. James is a destroyer of toilets. A freak of nature, he seems to have something of a vendetta against the plumbing world. Able to transform the most pristine facilities into something of a crime scene. A skill which he has taken global, and for which he is now no longer welcome in New Zealand. After literally taking out a whole restaurant. So many questions. Anyway, back to Japan, where it all started. But this time with one very important addition, as he eventually managed to convince Rachel to join him. The international educator finally got schooled. Clearly a force to be reckoned with, Rachel managed to whip James into shape and move back home. Back in the UK after all these years, sponsored by Dino Rod and Lakeways Wine. A boy from Surrey, quaffing Kabali in the Manchester suburbs. A destination some of us southern types initially questioned. But it turns out the Webster Gardeners have something of a taste for the good folk of the north. With all of the extended family, you'll recognise them. Either up north or out of the country. And here we all are. Last year, when James told me he'd managed to trick Rachel into marrying him, came as a very welcome bit of good news. I've known James for over 20 years, and I can honestly say I've never seen him happier. We're at a time in our lives that when a bunch of us get together, talk now tends to include a worrying amount about mortgages, what the hell we're doing at work, and our newest aches and pains. So it's a joy to see you two focusing on what's really important in life, and so clearly finding a happy ending. Because while all that other stuff will always be there, I think we all sometimes need reminding of the things that really matter. I missed the card, sorry about that, guys. Who cares? Let's all have a drink. To James and Rachel.